morning, this is Taylor with American News Live on ABC. Today is February 22nd, 1947. Although a war marked by the invasion of Poland, bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, known as the time period as World War II, has ended, we are now in another dreadful war. The Cold War has now begun. We're fighting communist Soviet Union. Political upwards and revolutions must be stopped. We have groundbreaking news about American inventor and physicist Edwin Land just released his Polaroid Land Model 95 camera, the very first Polaroid camera to produce images immediately after taking a picture. Let's find out more about this amazing invention from the inventor himself, Edwin Land. American News Live reporter Peyton Carley has been covering Land's story extensively and joins me now from the location where it all took place in New York City. Over to you, Peyton.
Thank you, Taylor. I am standing outside the Hotel Pennsylvania in New York City, where the invention of the groundbreaking Polaroid Land Model 95 was first demonstrated at an optics convention on February 21, 1947. I am here with the famous inventor himself, Edwin Land. Tell us a little more about yourself, Land, and what exactly prompted you to come up with such an amazing invention?
Well, I was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and since I was very young, I have always been intrigued and fascinated by the entire concept of light. I focused on polarization of light, or I guess you could say the physical property of light waves, for most of my life growing up. At age 13, I was determined to find an affordable way to make driving safer at night. At first, I thought to myself about putting polarizers in headlights and windshields to prevent the dangerous glare that resulted from the headlights of any oncoming traffic. I briefly attended the College of Harvard to study chemistry, but then I had moved to New York City to conduct my research on polarization. In New York, I worked on and completed my project of inventing filters that could polarize light. I called these filters Polaroid film. I had to sneak into the labs at Columbia University to conduct my research and work because I did not have any proper tools or labs or at the location that I worked at. I was greatly influenced by the chemist William Herapath. He was involved in the production of large synthetic crystals that were being used as polarizers. I figured out a way to create my own alternative to that. I had created a sheet of crystals that was thin, transparent, and pliable enough to be used to polarize light. I got my first patent to produce more of these sheets and was able to produce them commercially. My good old buddy and I started the company called Land Wheelwright that manufactured these polarizers. It wasn't until I was on vacation with my family that I had the idea of the instant camera pop into my head. I was taking pictures of my 3-year-old daughter, and she had asked me why she couldn't see these pictures instantly. And I thought to myself, well, why can't she? And well, I guess you can say that the rest is history.
Wow, that is so interesting. I mean, this invention has literally changed the world of photography. Because of your invention, we now have a camera that can produce sepia-toned images that are ready within 1 minute after taking the photo. Before the invention of your Polaroid Model 95, photos had to be professionally developed, which would take several days. A photographer would have to take a series of photos on a roll of film and then return it to a laboratory where the technician would have to develop the film in a darkroom by using chemical baths. Now, if we take a photo that is overexposed, blurry, or not framed correctly, we are able to look at the image and retake it right then and there with very little hassle and essentially for free. So tell me, Land, now that you have produced the world's coolest camera, how have others been impacted by this invention, positively and negatively?
Well, after my Polaroid 95 came out, it impacted millions of people all over the world by providing large-scale employment for all of them. One of the main sources for employment was the Polaroid Corporation, which I had founded myself. And I also made the Polaroid to be easy to use and affordable for all consumers. The Polaroid Corporation had worked together with Kodak for quite some time before my instant camera came into place. Kodak used to manufacture the Polaroid's negatives for every film that Polaroid would produce, until Polaroid became Kodak's second largest customer and competitor. When my company mentioned that the instant camera, when they mentioned the instant camera idea to Kodak, Kodak saw this as a challenge to their company, a challenge to its dominance to be exact. Kodak tried to negotiate with us by requesting that our Polaroid instant films be packaged in their classic yellow box in return for their cooperation, but Polaroid declined, and both companies parted their ways.
Man, that is so intriguing. Well, I know that you're short on time with us today, but I wanted to thank you so much for letting me dig a little bit deeper into your background and the story behind Polaroid. We are so excited to go buy one before the holidays. Back to you, Taylor.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that Edwin Land had to spend with us today. But since I know how much all of our viewers are anxiously waiting to see how this camera works, I'm going to let Sharon, Jordan Marsh, department store owner, provide the inside scoop on how this camera operates and its significance today. Back to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Taylor. Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon, and I am the owner of the store Jordan Marsh Department in Boston, Massachusetts, where Land's Model 95 camera has first become for sale to the public for $89.95. 57 of Land's 60 camera units are up for sale just in time for Christmas. Polaroid's marketers have estimated that the camera will be in stock until the next manufacture. Due to the amount of wealth and attention that this camera has already been given, we do not predict that there will be any in stock for very long. So hurry, because it is the perfect Christmas present. One cool thing about this camera is that it folds up and pops out into a less than 4-pound monster camera and is fairly easy to use. First, you have to open the camera by pressing the front cover latch arrow, and the cover will pop open partially. Then you'll need to open the cover fully so the braces will click into place and lock it open. You need to pull the side out all the way for the pictures to come out clearly. Then you need to load the camera with the roll type 42 film, and you'll swing the back latch lever as far as it can go. The back will open slightly, but don't open it all the way yet. First, you have to lay the camera out on a clean, flat surface. Then you open the outer back and lay it flat, and then open the inner back panel. Examine the steel rollers carefully, because this is where the negative and positive materials pass through. These rollers squeeze the developer pods and distribute the developer chemicals evenly between the negative and positive sheets. With that being said, it is important to keep the rollers clean. These two rollers are wrapped in a paper leader that need to be unwrapped by breaking a seal carefully, and then you need to lay them directly flat into the chambers. Now you push them down by the edges and close the inner back panel and leave a 1/4 of an inch of the leader out, and close the panel. Close the outer back, and then you raise the camera in its proper position and swing the back lever. Squeeze the back tightly shut and swing the lever all the way to the right, and check that the outer back is fully closed and locked. Then you're ready to hold the camera with your left hand under the strap and grip it securely. Pull the leader out of the camera until it stops firmly, until you see the word stop on the leader. You tear it off against the cutter bar, and now you're ready to take the picture. After you have adjusted the exposure setting by turning the knob to the desired darkness or lightness right here, you need to aim and focus the camera by flipping up the rear and the front finder. The front finder is made up of 2 frames that you pull out all the way. Then you need to lock through the rear finder to be able to see the complete outer frame of the front finder. The camera will record slightly more of the scene that you see in the viewfinder to allow small errors in centering and focusing. Once you estimate the distance, you will slide this notch along the distance scale until it hits the number of feet that you estimated. After you set the distance scale, then you can gently squeeze the shutter release. You have taken the picture, but it will not start developing until you operate the film, release, and pull. Then get ready to pull by turning the camera away from direct sunlight, and you pull the tap straight out with a single smooth motion that starts the development. Now you wait 60 seconds, and while you're waiting, tear the excess paper. After this time, slide the notch door and open it. To remove the print, lift the print out carefully and separate the print by tearing the pre-cut edge that holds it to the rest of the roll and lock the back door. Remove the curl of paper by drawing the paper with the print face side up like this. This invention has not only impacted the world of photography and has caused photographers to now shoot billions of photos every year, but it has made many impacts on society and how companies run their business today. This new invention that created instant photography has transformed the fundamental nature of human interaction. Land himself has shifted the act of taking pictures to becoming a social interaction. Instead of taking pictures and waiting for them to get developed, we now have the ability to capture a memory with the click of a button, print it within a minute and give it as a gift or use it as a conversation started right then and there. Land's invention also motivated other companies to constantly innovate. After Land created the smaller SX70 camera with colored Polaroid film, companies became enraged and intrigued. Competitors, especially Kodak, fought to create a better duplicate, and from then on, the competition continued until Polaroid went out of business. We predict that Polaroid will eventually go under due to Kodak copying a future Polaroid model. That being said, no matter what happens, Land's work ethics will forever impact how businesses are run and the technology that will continue to be made in the future. Thanks to Land's Polaroid invention, our society will continue to live in the age of instant gratification. Most importantly, I think Land's biggest hope is that even after his company is no more, we never stop using images to capture the special moments and to bring one another close together. Thanks for letting me share. Taylor, back to you.
It's very evident that Edwin Land's Polaroid camera has impacted our community in many ways and has taken the idea of photography to a whole new level. Hurry up and grab your Polaroid Land Model 95 today before the holiday hits. This is Taylor Searcy in the Cambridge, Massachusetts for American News Live on ABC.